Yeah. Come on, come on. Here we go now, Edwin Salmon of Knowledge. A Sunday episode of Edwin Salmon of Knowledge. The episode you get for being a salmon skin on Patreon. Although sometimes I give it away as a little taster, like going to a restaurant and having someone rub something on your tongue and then saying you can get it or you can get out. Give me the children's menu, I'm not paying full price for that taste. I just want chicken nuggets and chips or I'll get out of this place. Get out of my face. Here comes the show.
That's right, guys. It's Edwin Salmon of Knowledge Sunday episode, which goes out to all of my patrons, to all the patrons on the internet who've watched the movie The Net with Sandra Bullock. I haven't seen that movie. I can't imagine it's aged very well. And there were times I fell in love with Sandra Bullock movies, but she hasn't made one in a while. I guess when you win an Oscar, you lose the hunger for making Speed 3. So, hi everyone. Not just the extra special patrons. This is Sunday. It's Sunday evening. It's quite balmy. I've been doing what I usually do on a Sunday, which is cleaning the house, mopping the floors, valeting the car in my Daisy Dukes to give Cara something to, some eye candy, something to munch on with her eyes, and her eyes get all sugary, and then she gets eye diabetes and has to test her eyes every day to make sure that her eye diabetes hasn't gotten too bad. But it's all worth it because she sees me in my Daisy Dukes with my slightly hairy bum cheeks falling out like a pack of jelly that can't be contained because there's just too much jelly. And I don't think that anyone is ready for this jelly because you haven't had your dinner first. Or Jello if you're American, which is, not much of a difference. Jelly, Jello, because they call jam jelly and we call jam, and Jello jelly.
Yeah, come on now. All right. Yeah, well, if you want jam on your bread when you're in the States, you gotta ask for jelly. You'll have egg on your face if you get jam on your jelly, and you don't get eggs. Eggs are the same there as well. So if you want eggs, just ask for eggs, and you'll be grand. That's fine.
So yeah, this episode that I put out on Sundays is all just kind of nonsense. Sometimes it's things that I forget to say in the regular Friday pod, and sometimes it's stuff that's just happened. Sometimes it's me talking about the things that have happened in my life and teetering on the edge of cultural appropriation with various accents and such because, hey, I'm a neurotypical straight white male, and for too long our voices have been silenced and we haven't been able to be heard. And I'm joking, of course. This is the kind of voice that you hear a lot of, maybe too much of, but it's always explaining what someone else's struggle is, which is something that annoys me. I was talking about, and I didn't do it before in any of the episodes, maybe I'll talk about it now because this is the kind of episode where, I get a little bit deeper, talk about my feelings, I'll talk about my real hot button topic issues. Stay away from that button, you'll burn your fingers. You don't want to hit that button with your fingers. I didn't have any beats there. because sometimes I do just make it up off the top of my head, but I do get annoyed, and I guess because I'm in that weird age where I'm old, and I'm too old to TikTok, which would be the name of my rap album. Too Old to TikTok by MC Eddie Ed. And I mean, I'm not saying I'm not too old to TikTok. I'm considering a move to TikTok. I'm not moving. I'm not going to live there. Because I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, which is also owned by Facebook. And I use WhatsApp a lot, which is owned by Facebook. Because I know some of my friends have left Facebook because they're like, I'm not a 70-year-old person who needs to be fooled into thinking that a vaccination will make my head explode, like in Scanners, which is a very cool reference that all the kids get. All the kids have seen David Cronenberg's Scanners. So I'm not the target market for Facebook. I'm not being targeted by Russian spies. But this is the thing with algorithms, and I was talking about on the main pod about Squidward, the spin-off, the Korean spin-off show, which is a live-action prequel explaining where Squidward from SpongeBob SquarePants comes from. And Squidward is played by Christopher Walken, who's mad that this pineapple under the sea has a sponge living in it. Of course, I'm talking about Squid Game, which has got nothing to do with Squidward. But I haven't seen it, but everyone's seeing it, and everyone's like, this is the hot thing. But the problem with it is that, not the problem, but, there's very, very few times where something genuinely surprising, you can't really stumble over anything in an analog sense. And I'm talking about, I'd be very surprised if your average 25-year-old had any DVDs or even Blu-rays. Blu-ray, because digital versatile discs, which were all the rage, and then Blu-rays came along, which were even more all the rage harder with the Blu-rays. And they had achieved a level of clarity of picture and of sound that I was very happy with. And I was happy to go with Blu-rays for the rest of my days. But I don't think any 25-year-olds have any physical copies of movies that they can fall over in their attic. Because my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, Neil and Claire, Neil, who is a patron, who gets episodes like this one every Sunday for only €5 a month. So that's like 4 extra podcast episodes of mine, minimum guaranteed 30 minutes per episode. So reach deep into your credit union or your Henry Hippo Ulster Banks. These are all references that no 25-year-olds will get. But judging by my demographics, very few 25-year-olds are listening to my show. And very few women are listening to my show. If you are a woman or a girl, or if you're not quite a woman, but still a girl, or whatever that song was, if you're a lady, and you're listening to this, well done. You are a rare thing. You are a half unicorn, half merman, a mermicorn, which is an even rarer thing because it doesn't exist, because I just made it up right now. But if you are listening, and let me know why you like the show, and let me know what of the things that you would like on the show to have me more talk about. Would you like me to talk coherently, for example? Because that's something I can do. But do drop me a line. Follow me on Instagram or on Twitter, even though I hate those fucking things. But yeah, there's no physical copies. If you are 25 and you're listening to this, let me know what physical DVDs or movies that you have in your collection. Because I used to enjoy going to people's houses and sort of quietly judging them by the DVD collection that they have. And now I didn't judge Neil or Claire, of course, no judgment for Neil and Claire. They're beautiful people. I love them very much. And but they let me loose when they were clearing out their attic, and I just grabbed a bunch of DVDs that I have, and one set of a trilogy, a DVD box set, but a trilogy box set, which was the Naked Gun movies. The Naked Gun series of films, which are not available to stream on any of the streaming sites. And there are 74 streaming sites now, the last I saw. So that's the sort of thing where, like, you can't just go, oh, I'd love to see such and such a movie, because you can't get it, perhaps. But then you can go on YouTube and you can get a lot of movies. You can rent them on YouTube. So do that. But if you do have DVDs or Blu-rays, let me know what DVDs and Blu-rays that you have, because I have some that I cannot find to stream anywhere, and there's some DVDs that I have, or Blu-rays that I haven't watched. Like, I bought a Blu-ray of Lawrence of Arabia, and it's still in its packaging because it's quite a long movie. I think it's like nearly 4 hours or something like that, which is fine if you have. I'm waiting for like a rainy Sunday when it's cold and dark and there's no point in going outside, and I can just light a fire. And I don't want to watch it by myself. I don't know if Cara would watch it with me. I think maybe my father-in-law Tom would give it a go, maybe. I don't think he's not the kind of man who would talk through Lawrence of Arabia. But what I'm saying is, Lawrence of Arabia, because it's not on any streaming service, it will never be thrust in front of my eyes or anyone else's eyes because of an algorithm. Because Squid Game has the weight of Netflix behind it, and Netflix algorithm does that thing where, you know, like once a month, you know, and I hear this from a lot of my friends where they say, I've had enough of Netflix. I'm giving up my subscription. I'm cancelling it all. Forget about it. And then, oh, what's this murder documentary series? A man was sewn into 47 cats. Cat Game. I'll watch that. And then they just forget to cancel their subscription. Now, I keep my subscription because my mum uses it and my brother uses it. And that's fair enough, because I get subscriptions from other people. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but you know the way you can share your account until they stop doing that. But I don't think they will, because to be honest, if they did that, if they said it's only you can watch your Netflix, I'd go, well, fuck you then, and I'd cancel it. So I would. But everyone's watching something, and there's no original thoughts behind it. You know, no one's going to say, like, for me, I go, God, I'd love to see that obscure Jackie Chan movie I saw in, 1984 or whatever it was. And you can't find it. And if you can't find it, then you can't watch it. And then you forget about it. So it's kind of like, it seems like there's an awful lot of good stuff. And I will say this, for me, for my money at the moment, Disney Plus is the best streaming service. Sure, it doesn't have the Squid Olympics, but it has an awful lot of good quality television shows. And lately, as in just last night, myself and Cara were watching Only Murders in the Building with Steve Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. And it's a very quirky thing, and it reminded me, actually, and this is the thing, this is my own personal algorithm, or as I like to call it, my brain. But it reminded me of a series that I had to look up when it was, from 2009. It only ran for 3 seasons. HBO produced it, and it was called Bored to Death. And it starred Ted Danson, who is a lovely mover. It starred Quick Step 1, 2, How You Prancin', I'm Ted Danson, Aren't I Handsome? And it also starred Zach Galifianakis and Jason Schwartzman. And it was about a dude, Jason Schwartzman, who he pretended to be a detective and got embroiled in some hijinks. And it was like a comedy kind of drama thing, and it was really good, like very good. And I can't remember it because it's like 10, 11 years since I've seen it. But yeah, Only Murders in the Building. It's kind of quirky. If you'd like true crime podcasts, it kind of gently makes fun of that. But also, I think we watched 4 or 5 episodes. I don't know how many there are, but they're all like half hours. And it's just good. It's good fun. I mean, obviously, I'm a big Steve Martin fan and Martin Short. Less so Selena Gomez, but that's because I'm 44 years old. But she's very good in it. Everyone's very good in it. It's a good show. And we'll probably finish it. Now, I might end up talking about that on this podcast, or I might end up talking about it on the CineStream Club, the extras, where we talk about TV shows instead of movies. If you want to check out the CineStream Club, it's myself, Trevor Brown, Andrea Farrell, and sometimes we have special guest stars. The latest episode is on Cool Runnings with special guest Erin McGathy. I'm not on it, but we have a lot of fun on that show. Oh yeah, I've talked past the point where there would be an ad, but that's because on these Sunday pods, there are no ads except at the start and at the end. And if you just let them play through when this is over, that'd be great because it gives me an incremental amount of money. Also, and apologies to the patrons who get this, but if you haven't signed on for the dole, that is, do, because it's a great system. And no, I'm not gonna encourage you to do that. Don't sign on for the dole. Get a job and give me a $5 a month, which is like buying me a pint in a pub. Like if you saw me once a month in a pub and you're like, oh, here, I'll buy you a pint. And we chatted for like 15 to 20 minutes to 30 minutes. And then I'd be like, that's it, sorry, 30 minutes. 1 pint buys you 30 minutes of my time. And then I'd just leave. So here, let's have another song for the fucking crack, huh?
Oh, it's a squid game. It's a game of squids. If you've got an octopi you can't get in, you've got to have a squid for this game. I've got a fish, it's a blowfish. Give me a fish, it's a blowfish. Blow it up, it's deflated. I can't get into this gate. The gate is locked, it's not open. Oh, come on, let's get on a boat and go out and catch a squid. Then we'll be able to play the game. What's the game? It's a squid game. It's a game of squids. How many squids have you got? One up your sleeve? That's cheating at this squid game. You've got to have a game. You've got to have a squid. Put them together. What's it called? What's it all about? I don't know. I haven't seen the show. I have not seen the show.
It's true, I have not seen the Squid Game show, but hopefully I'll see it soon. Like I say, I'll see all of these things soon. I still haven't seen Game of Thrones. But that's because Game of Thrones was bad-mouthed by so many people that I was like, oh, fuck it, maybe I won't see the end of it. Now, what I did see today, because it came out like last night on the DC Fandom. Welcome to the Fandom, Raggedy Man. It's a reference to the Thunderdome. I was thinking the Terror Dome. Oh, welcome to the Terror Dome by Public Enemy. 25-year-olds don't know Public Enemy. Public Enemy is like Drake, if Drake was a bunch of lads and also different music. It's the best way I can describe it for all you young people. But yeah, the DC Fandom, which is all the upcoming DC movies, the two big ones, well, there's a couple of ones, but the two main ones were Batman related. One of them was the Flash movie, Flashpoint, which is a big movie about the Flash who runs really fast and he's played by the guy who played the Flash in those Zack Snyder movies that a lot of people have mixed feelings on. Some of the feelings are like, ah. Some of the feelings are, ooh. And some of the feelings are, ah. And that's the gamut of feelings there. So he was in those Schneiderverse movies. And what's everyone excited about for the Flash movie? Surely the Flash, you would say, Ed. The Flash. No, Batman. Because, or Batmen, in fact. They should make a movie called The Batmen. I mean, if the Flash wasn't in this Flash movie, how dare he be in his own fucking film? But there's two Batmen. Ben Affleck's, or Batfleck, as he's called, and Michael Keaton, the GOAT, as I call him, the GOAT man, and the greatest of all time. I think he's the best Batman. He is the Sean Connery of Batmans. God, can you imagine if Sean Connery played Batman? You know, like, say in, I'm trying to think of when he was over the hill. Not over the hill in the sense that, like, I mean, he had that weird where he was young and sexy and he was old and sexy, but then he had that strange period where he was sort of middle-aged, and in 1971, when he came back to do one final James Bond movie called Diamonds Are Forever. But that's before he did the unofficial one, which was called Never Say Never Again. But in 1971, where he was in that weird middle age where he kind of, he wasn't quite sexy old and he wasn't sexy young, but he was like just middle-aged, like almost there. So he'd have to be young. So it would have had to be made in like the late 60s, and they never would have done that because they were making the Adam West kind of TV camp, funny, where'll I throw this bomb, none of this bunch of nuns movies. But like, yeah, Connery would have been, I mean, he would have had to fucking act his socks off, especially if he had like a 70s handlebar mustache as Bruce Wayne and then as Batman also. Yes, Commissioner, I'm here. It's me, Batman. No, actually, that would be his Bruce Wayne voice. Yes, hello, it's me, billionaire tycoon and playboy, Bruce Wayne. Yes, I've never met the Batman, but I quite like his style. And then, oh, look, the bat signal's in the sky. Oh, I've got to go. Where am I going? Oh, no one in particular. I'm just going off to do my billionaire playboy shit. Don't mind me, Commish. You don't mind if I call you Commish? Can I call you Gordon? That's your name, I suppose. Commish isn't your first name. Anyway, I've wasted too much time. I mean, too much of Batman's time. Too much time. I'm going to go see the Batman. I'm not him. And then his Batman voice would be, yes, Commissioner, it's me, the Batman. Don't worry, I'll get rid of this Joker. Oh, he'll be laughing on the other side of his face. And Commissioner Gordon would be like, you sound very similar to Bruce Wayne. And you've got the same handlebar mustache as him. Unless he did that thing where, because I'm just remembering now, Nicolas Cage in that movie Kick-Ass, or as it's known in Scotland, Kick-Ass. He played a very Batman-esque character, and he had a handlebar mustache that he would put on. He would glue it on like a fake handlebar mustache when he was that character, which I thought was a great move because that would, obviously conceal your identity, even though no one knew. He wasn't like a famous billionaire who then became a vigilante. But if Sean Connery did the same trick and he was clean shaven as Bruce Wayne, and then as Batman he had a handlebar mustache, and then he could be like, no, I can't be Batman. Sure, I don't have the handlebar mustache that he has. Couldn't be me. And everyone would be like, I guess not. All right, on your way. We'll see you later, a person who's never been in the same room as the Batman. And then 10 minutes later, I got your signal, Commissioner. What seems to be the problem? The Penguin. Oh, don't worry, I'll fry this fish. It's like it's not even that gruffer. But anyway, listen. The Batman, Michael Keaton, is in, because they're doing this whole multiverse thing, which is something that has been in the comics for a long, long time, but not in the movies. So they've decided that they're going to have multiple Batmen. So Ben Affleck's Batfleck and Michael Keaton's not Goatman. That's 90 minutes of trying to get a man who's like, leaping up a sheer cliff face where it doesn't seem like there's even a finger hold, but somehow he's got his feet in there. And you're like, come down so we can make some cheese. I've got a salad that needs some cheese here, Goatman. And he's like, I won't come down. Fuck you all. He's also played by Sean Connery. But yeah, Michael Keaton, who is 69, but he still fits the suit. I mean, I think he looks great, and I think he's a great actor. I think he's obviously great Batman, great Beetlejuice. He's great in other movies as well, Birdman, Spotlight. He's great as the Vulture in the first Spider-Man movie, which, when I say first, I mean the first Marvel one. It's actually the 27th Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland as Spider-Man, who is my nephew Killian's second favorite actor. He is brilliant in that movie. In fact, that scene in the car where Michael Keaton's, what's his name? Is his name Jeffrey Combs or something? We'll call him Mr. Vulture. And he does that whole very quiet, I'll fucking kill you and your family and everyone, and also Sean Connery, just because I can. And it's real quiet, threatening. It's like how an actual psychopath would threaten you. He wouldn't kind of go all big and crazy and wave a couple of machetes around and like go, I'm going to kill you. He'd be real quiet about it. And like that's probably the most effective villain I've ever seen in one of these kind of over-the-top superhero movies. So he's back, and like the teaser trailer, which is only like a minute long, introduced by Ezra Miller, who for some reason is wearing, I don't get it with these Hollywood types, and they wear these fucking weird clothes. He's wearing like a sort of an S&M collar that it looks like a dog collar, like someone is just like the Warner Brothers executives like literally had him on a leash and let him off to introduce this teaser trailer. And the teaser trailer is 94% of it is they're in Bruce Wayne's manor and Batman's there and you see his ears, and Michael Keaton basically narrates the trailer. So everyone's excited for the Flash movie because Batman is in it and another Batman is in it. Now we do see, and you said Matt Damon's Batman, Ben Affleck, his best friend. We see Ben Affleck's cowl cracked and broken on the ground in one of the shots. And then the other trailer is The Batman, which is Matt Reeves, who did the Planet of the Apes reboots, The Rise, the Fall, and The Rise Again. That was the name of those three movies. Because Andy Serkis, who played Caesar, in those movies, is Alfred in this trailer. And it does have this thing, like, it looks pretty good. There's two things that kind of made me kind of go, oh God, so silly. And they're very, very much cliched things that you see in movies and in trailers a lot. Like in the No Time to Die trailer, the new James Bond movie, which I haven't seen yet. But there's a bit where the bad guy is saying, prone to violence, shooting guns, killing women or whatever. And he says, it's like I'm looking in a mirror. And it's very much that we're the same, you and I, two peas in a pod, two sides of the same coin, a couple of cards in the same pack, but not the same cards. I'm a club and you're a diamond, but we're in the same pack of cards. That's what I'm saying. Because there's a line in the Batman where Zoe Kravitz, who's playing Catwoman, aka Selina Kyle, and she looks fantastic in it. She's wearing various wigs, because I think her character's hair is short, and she says, "When we're not so different, you and I," and I just like, oh, for fuck's sake, we get it. You're both kind of anti-heroes. And that always kind of, I'm like, oh, for God's sake. You don't see Paul Dano, who's a terrific actor playing the Riddler. You almost see his face a couple of times, but they're holding back on that. And again, it's another cliche of the bad guy gets caught, and that's all part of his plan, which was The Dark Knight, and Heath Ledger's Joker did that. And then James Bond copied that as well. So I'm not saying they've copied the whole, we're the same, you and I. I'm your mirror image. I'm the negative version of you, where all the whites are black and the blacks are white. But there's another shot in it that made me laugh, and I guess it's supposed to be cool. It sort of reminded me of, there's a shot in The Dark Knight Rises where Batman is infiltrating. I nearly said that wrong. He's infiltrating Bane's underground lair. And Bane's like, he goes, ding dong.
Who's there at the door? Is it you, Batman? Why don't you come into my room?
And Batman goes, yes, I will. Because it's the multiverse, Sean Connery version of Batman. And, yes, I will. That's how he really sounds. But there's like a guy, he's like beating guys up. And one guy like shoots off his machine gun. Kind of because he doesn't know where Batman is. He's like, oh, I'm going to shoot him. And it illuminates him it's like kind of strobe lighting the flash of the barrel of the gun. And there's a similar shot in this new trailer for the Batman, Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson, who plays Batman. And he looks good and he sounds good. And I have all faith in him. I think he's a great actor. I think he's a good choice, especially for he's playing a younger version of Batman. He's playing Batman in like his second year of Batmaning. And, Batmaning, which is the version where eventually he'll grow into Bernard Manning, playing Batman. Bernard Manning, for all you 25-year-olds, is a sort of end-of-the-pier mother-in-law joke comedian from the 80s, whose Batman would be, oh, I said to Robin the other day, I said, you got to lose some weight, you fatty. And that's the joke. But yeah, there's a guy shooting at Robert Pattinson's Batman, but he has, because earlier in the trailer, like someone shoots his chest plate, his insignia thing, his bat symbol, which I think is made from a gun, possibly the gun that killed his parents, because that's what you want on your chest all the time, the gun that murdered your parents. And he gets shot there and on the shoulder, and then later some guy shooting with a machine gun right in his chest, and like, I just went, I mean, shoot him in the face. His face is not covered by any kind of shield at all. Just shoot him in the fucking face, and then he's a dead Batman. But of course, look, it's a movie, and apparently it's going to be 3 hours long, which I think is too long. This new Venom sequel is 90 minutes, and there's not enough 90-minute. I'd go see that movie just because it's 90 minutes. And then, you know, you can show 2 of those for every Batman. But having said that, it is Batman, and a lot of neck-bearded sycophants will go and see it regardless of its quality, but I think it'll probably be good. So that came out today, and I give it a sort of a hopefully optimistic thumbs up. So guys, thank you for listening. This is the end of this episode. My name is Edwin Salmon. This is Edwin Salmon of Knowledge. This is an extra special episode. These come out every Sunday, where I just talk shite and make up stuff and do some songs and such. So if you want to subscribe to my Patreon, it will cost you €5 a month. You get these. You will get like video pods. I think I'm going to do a little video pod episode, which will go up, obviously not on the internet, but on my Patreon. And there's lots of stuff up there. There's some of my book, a good bit of my book, 18 chapters or so, and more stuff and things. And if you don't want to subscribe to my Patreon, that's fine. Thank you for listening. If you want to follow me on Spotify, that's great. If you want to give me a review on Apple, that would be wonderful. If not, no hard feelings. I love you, and I always will. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.